Well, thank you for watching this video. This video is for QuickBooks Desktop tutorials for beginners. This is for desktop tutorials for beginners. I'm going to use 2016, but if you still have 2015 or 2014, or let's say next year 2017, this video will still work. So this video will work for desktop, and this is for the beginners only. So I'm going to show you how to use QuickBooks the right way, so that you don't have to mess up your QuickBooks. So just looking for right way, this is the video to go. Alright, so hopefully I can wrap this up in about 1 hour. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm going to go to QuickBooks here. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new company. So this is what you do when you install QuickBooks. You'll have to create a new company, and I'm going to use this Express Start. And the first thing they ask for you is the business name. So I'm just going to put something in here. QuickBooks, I'll just say demo, and then ask you the industry. You can type anything in here, but you can choose from the list. This from the list. And if it is not on the list, you can just select the closest one. It's not going to hurt anything. So I'm just going to select some service type company in here. Alright, just going to select the service based business, right? Okay, and the next one. Okay, and the business type, they have a sole proprietorship, partnership, LLC, corporation, S corporation. So you can select any one of these. You can change this later on, so it's not going to make any difference. By mistake you selected the wrong one, you can always change this later. Okay, so I'm going to select okay, same thing with the industry type. It doesn't make much difference. Okay, I'm going to click this, and then you can put in this later on, address and everything. So that these three, that's required. So the moment you create company, click this one, and it will take a while, and it will create company. You can just preview your settings if you want. Alright, so let's say chart of account. It will give you something like this. So in this example, since I want to show you how to create chart of accounts, I want to do this no chart of accounts, just blank. So this, you won't have any chart of account. I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so I'm going to create company. As you can see, it will take a while, but it will go fast. Okay, so it's already created a company, and so at this point they're asking for add product and services you sell, add bank accounts, or just start working on it. Okay, so I'm just gonna say start working on it. If you just click add bank accounts, it will tell you what you're gonna say. So I'm gonna cancel that one, and I'm gonna show you manually from scratch how to start QuickBooks. Start working. Okay, so right now you're on the home page screen. If you don't see this for some reason, let's say I'm going to close this. This could be just blank, right? So all you have to do is go to company and home page, company menu and home page, right? Okay, so this is collapsing. So you can close this to have more space, like this. Okay, so now, so you want to go to chart of accounts and create some accounts. Okay, so chart of accounts is right here. Okay, chart of accounts is right here, and or you can go from here, list, under list. It will take you same place. Okay, so they have a few basic accounts. These are default types. they always create the default default accounts. Okay, so now I want to create some new accounts for this business. Okay, so so first thing I want to do is create some new accounts. So then you have some startup accounts to enter transactions, and then I'm going to show you how to create items so that you can create invoices or sales receipt, right? And then I'm going to show you how to enter bills and how to pay bills and how to write checks and how to use the check register and you reconcile your account. Okay, so let's get started on the chart of accounts. First, I'm going to click this. Okay, so you want to add a few new accounts. I'm going to do one at a time. Okay, so account I want to use is, let's say you open bank account. Now you want to show money to that bank account in QuickBooks. Okay, so click new in here like this. All right, so this way, one way, or what, or you have the account, just right click it any place. You can just right click any place, and you can also select new like this. Okay, so these are the account types. Okay, so for the bank account, I'm going to select this one, right? Say bank account. Okay, so I'm going to create bank account. Okay, so the bank account, let's just say checking, or you can say if it's the the bank in here, you can just say checking account like this, and just copy and paste the same one. And if you have, for example, checking more than one account, then all you can do is just put the last four of your account number like this. That'll work. So either way, you feel comfortable, that's fine. And you don't want to enter opening balance because we want to create transaction. Okay, and so don't worry about the routing number. Don't put anything in there for a moment. And so that's all you're going to do. We don't want to enter opening balance, nothing like that. Okay, you have a question, you can just click that one. So I'm not going to open opening balance in here, so I'm going to leave, not going to use that one. Okay, so the next one I want to create is, so this is your money. Let's say you put in $10,000 for this business, right? So this is your money, and I've selected like a sole proprietorship. So now you're going to have owner's equity account. So owner's equity is the money you put in for this business. So next one I want to create is owner's equity account. Owner's equity, save and new. So I have we have one bank account now, right? Okay, so save and new, and from underneath account type, I'm going to select equity type. Equity type, see right here, equity type, equity type. And so I'm going to say uh, owner's equity, right? And if you're on partnership basis or corporation, the name's gonna be a little bit different, it'll be like a partners equity, if it's partners type, or shareholders distribution, shareholders contribution, if you like corporation type, so it will vary. So in this case, I'm just gonna use owner's equity because I've selected sole proprietorship. And you can always, if you made a mistake, you can change it to later on. So I'm going to use this owner's equity for now. All right, so while I'm on this account, when you're in business, when you make money, probably you will draw some money from this business too. So I'm going to create owner's drawing same time, the account for that one. So still on equity, right? So I'm going to create another one, owner's bonus draw account. So you have one, money you put in, the other one your money taking out when you're making money, and so save and close, right? Okay, so as you can see here, you have one bonus draw, one's equity, and in the bank account. You will see it here, bank, equity, equity. Okay, for some reason you want to see equity first and bonus below. So there's a little diamond thing in here, right? You just move it up like this. Equity. They already have honest draw in here, as you can see here. So we don't really need to create these two, right? Okay, so now let's say you want to use these two and want to delete these two, right? All you have to do is if you want to delete these two accounts we just created, so right click it and just delete account. Once you delete it, it's gone. We haven't even used it. So if you have used it and still want to delete it, then it will give you all kinds of prompt messages there. So I'm going to delete this one too. So now you know how to create account and delete accounts. All right. So now let's say you went to the bank and put in $10,000, right? So easy way to do it. Just go to check register in here. We already have one bank account set up, right? Okay, so here's the date in here, and the deposit is $10,000, right? Okay, so this is $10,000. Right now, you open the account in QuickBooks, but there's no transaction in here, so we're going to enter $10,000, and account you want to select, yes, you want to select owner's equity account, right? Okay, and you can put memo or whatever you need, you can put it there, and just enter this one. Okay, so now you have $10,000 balance in there, right? So if you go to chart of accounts, you will see $10,000 in here, right? So all you have to do is just double click it. It will give you quick transactions and you have $10,000, right? Okay, so now you have $10,000 in your bank account, $10,000 in your equity, and at this point, let's say you want to see your balance sheet, financial report. So you go to report, company and financial, and balance sheet. Just click this one. Reports, company, financial, and balance sheet. Now I'm going to teach you the balance sheet now. So we have we made $10,000 deposit. You put in your own money. So think about it. So what will happen now on the asset side, on the equity side? On one side you have a bank account. You put in $10,000, and on the equity side is also $10,000. Just remember, this is a balance sheet. Total assets uh, and total liabilities and equity, they should balance. Should be the same. 10,000 equity, 10,000 total liabilities and equity account, right? Okay, so I'm going to go to home page again. Home page right here. So the window and home, right? Okay. Now you're ready to do some business. Okay, so let's go through this chart now. I'm going to start from uh, sales orders. So the sales, you may not have a sales order. It depends upon the type of business you are in. So the create a sales, so you just have to click it there. The estimate is if you're bidding on some business, you create estimate. Okay, and then create invoice. What you can convert from estimate to invoice. So this is like a, so this says bill your customer and receive payment later. So you bill your customer. Let's say, okay, I completed this service, or I sold this to you, and I delivered this product to you, and I'm going to invoice you, and please pay me in, let's say, 15 days or 20 days, or with the term involved in here, with the 30 days. So you set the term. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to create invoice right there. And if you want, you can check the estimate in here. It's pretty straightforward. Just create an estimate, and once you have that, based on that, you can just create invoice or create sales order. Uh, so, but this is like a non-posting type. Just because you create this, it won't show up in QuickBooks yet. The QuickBooks show up when you create invoice, when you create sales receipt, or when you enter bills and pay bills. So these two are non-posting type on the customer side, and on the um, vendor side, if you create purchase order, right now it's not there. So this is for the beginners. I'm not going to go too far on this one. Basically, I'm going to focus on how to create invoices for your customers. Okay, so create invoice. I'm going to click it here. Okay, so the first thing they ask you is item. So it's like a code number, and then there's nothing in there. I'm going to create a code item here. Uh, so in order to do that, you need to go to items and services list in here. So you create that one. You can go from here or list, item list in here, right? Okay. So as I said, new is right here. Okay. So new, and let's say you want to do I'm not going to focus on inventory on this video. I have a separate video for dealing with inventory, several videos just dealing with inventories, uh, buying, selling inventories, or if you're in manufacturing, assembly and bill assembly, that kind of stuff. So you can check it out. So this is just for beginners. I'm going to make this very easy. Let's say I'm going to select service for this one. Okay, so you just put the item name or service. Let's say you are doing some consulting business. I'm just going to say consulting, right? Okay, consulting in here, and copy it. And if you have fixed price, or you always start $100, something like that, you can put it in here. And if they vary, you can just leave it blank. It doesn't matter. So if you put $100 in here, or some number, it will show up on your invoice. You can still change it. That way you don't have to type it all the time. So just put $100 in here. And account is asking for the income account. So you got to have an income account in here. So income account. So when you create invoice, it's basically generating your income, right? Okay. Although they haven't paid it, it will create accounts receivable. The money is not in yet. So let's select add new. Okay. As you can see here, account type is income. See the item type, all these. So make sure it's income type. Okay, I'm just say consulting. Okay, so save and close. So you have one income account in here, right? So sole proprietorship, they don't need too many income accounts. Just limit to only a few income accounts. The more you create more income accounts, it just gets very complicated. So just make it simple. Just create 1, 2, 3 income type. Then you're all good. I'm going to click OK. So now, we have service type income here, uh, uh, item in here. So now you can create invoice in here. So create invoice is right here. So this is the flow chart in here, and you can go to customers here, right? Customers, and create invoice right here too. Okay. So I'm just going to use this in here. This. So here's your invoice form. And the first thing they're asking for is customer. Who is your customer? So right now there is no customer base, so you have to create name of the customer. Just create name of the customer in here. So this is like a detail type. Okay, so let's say on this one is James Smith is your customer, and then you can you know fill out all the address and everything. And payment setting, you can put the account number. You don't have to. And payment terms, so this is where you set up payment terms. Let's say you're going to select net 30 right here, And if you have email, you can select the email in there, uh, or nothing or none. So you're gonna mail this, print and mail, or print it mail, or whatever, email, mail. And the preferred payment measure you can select. Let's say you want check, right? And if you want a credit card payment, you can have, you need to have a merchant account with QuickBooks, and then you can put in, into the credit card information, uh, and then you can save this credit card information with some code. Okay, so additional information you don't have to worry about. So this is at some point you will need to learn, what type of customer is this? How did you get this business? If you want to track customer source of your revenue, then you come here and select how you got that business. So when you run a report, you can get the all kinds of valuable reports. You can sort it by referral. This percentage came from referral. This one came from advertisement. So that'll give you all information there. So in this case, I'm just going to use uh, these two. And if it's sales tax, some companies, they buy from you and then they resell it, and you don't charge sales tax. Okay, so I'm just going to say okay for this one. So now all we have to do is select consulting, right? And let's say you worked 10 hours for this. So it's basically, 10 times 100 is 1,000, you know. So the moment you save and close, so now if you go to the customer center, see right here, okay, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, here's your customer name, and it's saying, $1,000 balance in here. So they owe you $1,000, right? And here's your invoice, and invoice number is right here. So if you click it, it will take you to the same place, right? And if you like to change the invoice number, let's say I want to start from 1001, that's okay. You can do it. And if you put in billing or ship to is different, you can put that too, or add new shipping address in there, right? As you can see on the right side, it will give you transaction information, 1000. Next time you add, it will give you additional information in here. It'll just bill all your customer transactions. Okay, and if there is like a PO number, you can put PO number here. And if you need to customize your invoice format, you can do that too. See, formatting, just click that one. For initial, this is fine. This works pretty good. You don't need to do very much. So if you want to save, I'm going to save this. So if you want to review it, it comes out like this. It is a simple invoice, right? And if you want to customize and make it a little bit big, professional, and you can do that too. Uh, if you want email invoice, it's right here. All right. Okay, so you just put in the email address and go from there. Okay, so now, so what happens on your P&L side, right? So you invoice 1,000. So let's just look at the balance sheet now. We still have balance sheet in here. As you can see here, now you put in 10,000, and now you invoiced one customer, right? $1,000. So you have accounts receivable 1,000, right? And so net income of 1,000. So this is on accrual basis because you haven't received, you haven't paid this. So if you're on cash basis, so you're saying accrual basis, right? So if you're on cash basis, you just have to change it to cash basis, customize, and change this report basis as cash. So now on cash basis, they don't show accounts receivable. because they haven't paid that invoice. All right, let's go to the P&L now. I'll show you the difference. P&L. Okay, so this is on accrual basis. The 1,000 is your income, right? Okay, so the moment I switch this to cash, just guess what happens. So there's nothing in there. There's no income. Why? Because you just invoiced it, and they haven't paid that bill. So the moment they pay it, then it will show as income on cash basis. Okay, so now I'm going to go to customer. Let's go to customer center. In fact, customer homepage, I mean. Okay, so now you created invoice, right? So at some point you receive payment. Just click this one. Okay, uh, and so from here you select customer. Right now in this case it's just one, so normally you will have a big list of customers, right? Okay, and let's say check. Okay, you go to check, so just put the check number in here, 5678. Let's say that's the check number, right? And just select this one. So that means, if it's 1,000, then it's automatic thing. So just ask automatically calculate payment the moment you check this, and let's say yes. Okay, so you invoiced 1,000, they paid 1,000, so that means they don't owe you any money, but you have more, $1,000 more in your bank account. All right. Okay, save and close. Now let's go back to that profit and loss again. Refresh it. Now you have on cash basis $1,000 income, right? Now you got it. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is let's go to the balance sheet account. Refresh this. Okay. In here, it's still $10,000, but somehow there's another account that says undeposited funds account. Why? Because it's like a transition one. You got the payment, it's sitting there. Now you have a chance to take it to the bank. So once you take it to the bank, then you deposit this check, and then you move from here to undeposited funds to checking account, right? So think of this as a check sitting in your drawer, and then you have had a chance to take it to the bank and deposit. Okay, or another case is you accept credit cards, and when you accept credit cards, they deposit money to your bank. They don't deposit by each credit card uh, sales. They will deposit at the end of the day whatever items you sold. So it could be 10 sales or 5 sales, whatever. So you'll see the batch deposit in your bank account, right? So that's why it goes to undeposited funds. That's pretty normal, and if you don't want this way, you have to change it in here. You have to go in and edit preferences. But for now, I'm just going to stick with this because it's better to do it that way. Normally, you will receive more than one payment, one checks. Especially if you are accepting credit card, you got to have this undeposited funds. Otherwise, if you just deposit directly to the bank, you will never be able to reconcile it. You have 10 different checks, but in reality, you did a batch deposit. So let's just stick with this one for now. Okay, I'm going to create another invoice. All right, create another invoice. Okay, let's say in this case, say okay. So click OK. So item is still the same, and at some point if you need to add another services type, then you can just add it and make this still a service item. And if you are selling a non-inventory type, then you can select non-inventory type. So this is going to stick with consulting, and I'll say it's let's say it's 20, so it's $2,000 invoice, right? Okay, uh, and let's say you want to you want to start from 1002. You can just save it like this, save and close, right? Okay, so now if you go to sales P&L, let's see the P&L in here. So it's still 1,000 on cash basis. If you change it to accrual, you'll see $3,000, right? Okay, so same thing. Now you go to customer center again. Now we have you know, two customers, right? And this one already paid, and this one hasn't paid. And let's say they paid this invoice, right? From here, you can just select customer and receive payments. If you are on customer center screen, or if you are on home page screen, so just click this receive payment, right? So you have one in here, and just click this one, so it automatically will display total full payment, right? And if the customer paid only a little bit less or whatever, you can still change it, manually change it. But normally, you know, customers, you know, they should pay 100%. So check, and 567, let's say, okay, and save and close, right? Now if I go to this balance it one more time, now you have a $3,000, right? Okay, so it's still sitting in there. Now I'm going to go to home page again. Okay, so this time what I'm going to do is this is right here. It says right here, record deposit, record deposit. Okay, as you can see here, you have two checks. You have received payments for these two checks, and sitting there. Now you decided to go to the bank and deposit, do two checks, and the deposit slip is $3,000, let's say, right? Okay, and click OK, and next screen will tell you deposit to. If you have more than one bank account, you know, you make sure you select the right account, bank account, and make sure the deposit date is accurate. Let's say you did deposit on 7/25, you just change it here. So that's the date you will see on your bank statement as well, right? Okay, and save and close. Okay, so now when you go see your bank balance sheet, or go to check register, so you should have the money you put in $10,000 plus two checks you have deposited, one for 2,000, other one 2,000, I mean 2,000 and 1,000, 3,000 altogether. It should be $13,000, right? So now you have ending balance of $13,000, right? It's right here. See, as you can see here. So if you look at your bank statement, you should still see $3,000, and basically, you know, it's a two checks batch deposit in here. Okay, so now you know about creating invoice and uh, record deposit, right? And check register here. Okay, so let's say you have another customer here. I'm going to create another one here. Customer center, and from here I'm going to create customer here, new customer, right? It's the same screen. This is basically like add new type, you know, from your customer center. So this is where you should come all the time and look at all your invoices outstanding and who is paying it, and you know, all kinds of stuff. Right here, if you go in here, you invoice once and receive the payment. Same thing in here. See, you invoiced it, payment received, right? So deposit done, uh, and there's no balance left. So let's create another one in here. Okay, so let's say customer, let's say Jane Smith. Okay, so you have one in here, right? You go in here, and now you can fill out all the information in there. Now let's say you want to create invoice for this customer. It's the same thing. Uh, as you can see here, you start with 1002, then the next sequence is 1003. It will automatically change it. Let's say it's 10. So this is 1000 again. Okay. Save and close, right? And so it's showing $1,000 balance in there, right? And so this guy don't pay it on time, so you want to send a statement. So just click it here, right here, the statement. Just click it here. You want to send that statement, you know, and just select one customer here, the one who is not paying you. View selected customer. So this is the one, right? So you want to select that customer, and so it's per customer, right? And then you can preview it if you want. So this one already paid, right? You don't need to print that one. You can just select the one you need to print. So in this case, the one who owes you money, you can select and send them a statement at the month end. Okay, so you know about this one now, statements. And refunds and receipts. Hopefully you don't have to do that many. Okay, so let's say you sold some product or services. They don't want to pay you that money. They think, well, you charge that too much, you know, and they want a deal. You know, let's say in this case we have one customer in here, open invoice. So you send out statement, you know, this 1,000, and they said, well, no, so it should be only $800. So we want create a memo for $200, right? Let's say I'm going to create a memo for $200 in here. So you can go to the home page again. You can do it from here too. So it's right here, refunds and credit. So refund, difference between refund is that, you know, this one is refund is already paid and they want money back. Like the first one, you invoice for $1,000, right? And they already paid, and somehow, you know, they want some money back, refund. So in that case, you just click the refund, and then you just pay, you know. Okay, so let's just stick with the create memo for now. So let's stick with the created memo, refunds and credit. So created memo, let's select this customer, Jane Smith, and item is still the same, consulting, and let's say you want to give $200 credit, right? Okay. Uh, and credit number, if you want this different, like in here, you know, if there's invoice number 1003, or you want to issue like 1003-1 or whatever, as long as it's consistent, that's okay. So right now I'm not going to worry about that. So save and close. So it's asking you retain as available credit or give a refund or apply to an invoice. So you have a choice in here. So it's basically, in this case, the invoice is open, so you want to retain as an available credit, right? Or apply to an invoice. You can do that too. All right, just available credit I'm going to do. Okay, so if you go to Customer Center in here, now as you can see here, you have only $800 outstanding, right? So because, you know, you invoiced for 1,000 and you should create a memo for $200, right? And so now next time they pay you, you know, you just receive payment, right? It's $800. So select that one, and you have $200 in your credit, right? So you got to apply that credit. You got to apply this credit too, you know, and let's see, apply this credit. Let's see here. Okay, so click this. You know, it'll show. You'll have to change it to $800. So first, we will just see 1,000 in here, right? So, you know, the amount received is only $800. So you need to change it to 800 in here. $800, right? Okay, so then save and close. Okay, so now in here it's basically 1000 invoice, receive payment 800 because you issued credit memo. So it works out that way. Okay, so now we're done with the customer side. Now we're gonna go to the accounts payable side. So for accounts payable, let's say interbill, it's quite opposite of creating invoice. So in creating invoice is basically you're sending out to your customer and telling them, well, you can pay this invoice job I did within, let's say, 30 days. Same it's quite opposite of your invoice. It's a vendor one. So vendor is telling you, well, you can pay this in 30 days, right? Let's say this one is A1 consultant, let's say. Okay, so you can set up same thing in here, just like this. Okay, all right. So the account you want to use is, right now you don't have any account in here, so I'm going to create expense account. Okay, so the expense account right here. So I'm just going to say consulting in here. Oh, there's already one in here. It says it's already there. Let's see if it's there. Oh, this is the yeah. It's asking the consulting. You have income, so you can't have same name, uh, income and expense. So basically, I'm gonna call this consulting expense. The other one you can call it consulting income. Consulting expense. All right. Let's say it's $200. As you can see, the moment you put in $200, amount due is also $200. And for the reference number, uh, you can put their vendor bill number. Let's say you looked at the vendor invoice, and the vendor invoice is 897, let's say. And you can select net. Let's say you're going to pay this. Bill due is 1 month later from your so this date has to be your vendor date, not when you enter it. You got it, and you didn't bother to enter it in QuickBooks, so that's not a date it counts. It has to be from your vendor invoice date, not the day you enter it. So you have to look at the vendor date and then put that in. Okay, so this is due on 8/24. Save and close. Okay, so now if you look at the vendor center, here's the vendor center. We went to customer center. Vendor, you don't have that many, but I'm going to go through here. As you can see here, vendor, $200, and you still owe $200 for that company, right? Okay, so now you're ready to pay it. You go to vendor and pay bills, or from the home page screen, pay bills right here. Okay, and just click this. And so right at this moment you only have one checking account. So if you have more than one, you can select which bank you're using to pay this bill. Okay, and then if you have another credits you want to vendor credit you want to apply against this bill, then you got to select this. Okay, and use a payment date. Let's say it's 26, and you can assign automatically assign check number, or you can assign manually check number like this. Let's say you just write a manual check, and this check number, and you just want to assign manual check number. So it'll just ask you what the check number is. Let's say since you're starting the first check number is 1001. So you can just put that in and click OK, and then it'll ask you, you want to pay some more. So if you're done, okay. So now if you go to your balance sheet, your profit and loss, refresh this, and as you can see here, it's the check payment. I'm going to go through July 31st because the check date was 7/25. So I'm going to go all the way to 7/31. Okay, so let's see here. In accrual, it's $3,000, $3,800. You lost $200 because you issued credit memo, right? And they paid $200 less. And they have consulting income, consulting expense of $200. So at this point, your net income is $200. I mean, $3,600, right? Okay. And now let's write a few checks. You have to pay some bills, right? Okay, so I'm going to go to home page again. Okay, so the difference between writing check and creating enter bill. So this one, it's basically you just enter bills in QuickBooks so the expenses are up to date. It's up to date. You pay later, but in QuickBooks it's up to date. So you are recording expenses as they come in, and it's up to date. And on cash basis, interbill don't count until you pay bills, but it's an accrual. It will show, hey, you're spending that kind of money on something. So when you do the reporting, it's maybe it's on cash basis, but you can change, you can switch around anytime you want. Profit and loss, it's accrual. All you have to do is change to cash like this, right? So it's easy to do. Now I'm going to go to home page again. Okay, so now I'm going to write some checks. The moment you write check, it will record to QuickBooks and you'll be on cash basis because you're already writing a check. Okay, so I'm going to write check to Verizon for some telephone bill, right? Okay, and I'm just going to do quick add vendor. So you can do quick add. You don't have to go through that screen. Just quick add vendor, right? And account you want to use is telephone, right? I'm going to set up telephone in here. Okay, right now there's no account for that, so it's the same expense account. Continue it, telephone, save and close. Let's say it's $200. Okay, save and new. Okay, now it's time to pay some rent. Say my landlord. Okay, so you're going to write check once a month, right? Quick add. So you have to, this is the vendor setup, so it has to be your vendor's name. I'm just giving an example here. Just put in my landlord in here. Okay, so it's a rent. So quick add, set up, go to expense again, continue, rent again. Right? Let's say it's a $500 rent a month. And let's say you want to pay this every on it's due on first day of the month. So if you write check on August 1st when it's due, it's not going to get there. Let's say you want to write this on 1 week in advance, something like that. Let's say July 25th, right? So you want to create, check on 7/25, and this is rent for August. Okay, so now, hey, I'm going to pay this $500 every month. I don't want to go through this. I want to create a recurring. I want to memorize this. So all they have to do at this point, see, it's a memorize in here. it will read. I'll read to you. If you create the same check on a regular basis, use memorize to save it as a template for future use. Right? Hey, looks like a good idea. Okay, I'm going to memorize this. Okay, so you're going to create a name of the template. Normally you put in like a your landlord's name, right? So I'm just going to stay with that one. And you know, if you have a more than one memorize payment for that vendor, then you have to name it a little bit differently. Maybe landlord one, landlord two, something like that. Okay, so asking how often. I'm going to do monthly, once a month, right? And the next date is what? So it will be August. Let's say August 22nd, right? And it's asking, do you want to automate transaction entry? Yes, right? Then you have to do is write check. And number of remaining, you can just leave it blank, or let's say you depending upon your lease term. Let's say this is the you have 3-year lease, so you already paid one. You can put 35, so 35 times 3-year lease, right? So as you can see the sound, right? So you can save and close. And if you want to see the memorized list, under the list in here, memorize transactional list, it's right here. See, my landlord, and its frequency is monthly, and its auto next due date is 8/22, right? And somehow, let's say this guy raise your rent, you can just edit this and then change the amount, you know, if you want. Uh, but let's assume, you know, they're going to raise the rent, you know, just you can just change this to whatever, right? But let's assume it's going to stay the same. Okay, if you want to change it, you can change it. Just click it and change it. Okay, so now we went through the memorized transaction. We know what to do, right? Okay, so and if you just want to print checks, you can print checks from here. See these two checks. If you want to print, you know, if you have computer and bought some QuickBooks checks, and starting check number is, let's say, 1001, whatever, and you can start printing checks right there. Right now we have two checks to print, and so print checks is right here, and you can always uh, go to check register, right, and see all these, okay, in and out and everything. So let's say you want to reconcile this bank account, okay, and let's say everybody cashed except this Verizon telephone, they haven't cashed this check, right? So in QuickBooks you have 12,100 balance. So if they haven't cashed this check at the bank, so what would the bank be showing? You know, your bank account. So they'll be showing $12,000 100. Since they haven't cashed this check yet, they will show 12,300, right? So when you look at the statement at month end, they will show 12,300, but in QuickBooks it's showing 12,100. The reason being this one is still outstanding. So just remember that 12,300 number. Okay, so now you want to reconcile your bank account. You got to do this every month. All right, it's 12,300, and it's July 31st. You can do this reconciliation anytime during the month, once a month. You can do anytime. It doesn't matter. It's twice a month or once a month, anytime. So let's just say you want to do once a month, right? Okay. And when you receive statement, they charge you some service fee. You know, then you can select the service fee. Let's say they charge you $6 every month. You can put in $6, and let's say this is July 31st statement, right? And we don't have the account for the $6 bank charge fee, and you just can create one in here, bank charges. Okay, and continue it. Okay, so now all we have to do, this difference has to be 0 all the time. That's when you're reconciling it. So right now, the bank is showing this as deposit, bank is showing this as deposit, and on the checks, it cleared this one and this one, but this one hasn't cleared yet. Verizon hasn't, I'm sorry, not that one. Verizon hasn't cashed in that check. So as you can see, the difference is 0 now, right? The difference, $6, comes from the service charges. That's okay. So reconcile now. Oh, because the $6, hold on a second, because we have to adjust the bank balance in there. Okay, because we're saying the bank is showing ending balance 300. So if they took out $6, the bank balance would be only 12,294, right? So let's modify it, and since they took out $6, so now it's only $12,294. So it's going to modify it. Okay, so now they do reconcile. So reconcile it, and it will show you the some reports in here like this, all the details in here. Uh, and if you want, you can just print this or download to Excel. I think it's better just to download to Excel and keep it someplace. You never know when you need it. Okay, so now we went through reconciliation. So we know about the check register. We know about the record deposit thing and write check, print check and stuff. Okay, and create invoice, enter bills, pay bills, create. So this one is also very similar. So the difference between this and this is, so it's basically someone already perform service and pay you at the same time. So there's no need to create invoice. Let's create one sales receipt in here. Okay, so let's say it's the customer, and this is, let's say, 50. Oop, item is consulting, right? And let's say this is 50, $5,000 business. Okay, and as you can see here on the sales receipt is item in here on the first column. On the sales invoice, it was different, right? So the quantity was in front. So you can go to formatting and then change the column row in here. So you can just uh, try it on your own, but you can just leave it the way it is. So this means you receive payment for $5,000 too, right? Okay. So what's next now? You go to record deposit, right? See $5,000. It is two sitting in there. You can check that one. So let's say you already deposited this one on separate deposit. You don't have to do like this. Then the total deposit is it's going to be off, right? Batch deposit. So just select one, click OK, and select correct bank account, select correct deposit date, and save a new, right? And start the next one here. So $5,000. Let's say you receive payment, and it did the deposit on, let's say, August 2nd. Save and close, right? Okay. So now we go to the balance sheet, refresh this. As you can see here, we still have $3,000 left in here. Let's see here on accrual basis. Okay, let's do the deposit one more time. So this one is there. So you already have a problem in here. Oh, okay. So we've got to change the date in here. That's the problem. See, as you can see here, the deposit date was way later, August, let's say August 3rd. press it, now it's gone. So the date, as of date, was was wrong. So if you look at the P&L for the full year, so we're just going to do this for full year, then you will get all information this fiscal year. So this is all the expenses in your income, consulting income, and bank charges, rent, telephone, and consulting expense. So this one, let's say you want to say consulting income, right? Let's go to list, chart of accounts. So it's consulting in here, right? Right click it, edit, and just add consulting income. Oop. There we go. Now it's consulting income. Now if you go to the P&L, see right here. Okay. So P&L is right here. Let's see what else is missing. Okay. So next one is, and another thing is, so I'm going to close all this. So to close all this in here, all you have to do is window, close all, and you close everything, right? Okay, let's say you want to memorize certain reports that you use it, it's very helpful, right? So you want to create certain reports, then all you have to do is memorize reports right here, right? And then you just add new one in here, so new one. So to do that, you just go in here, memorize, let's start from here, reports, memorize reports in here, right? Okay, so we're going to add a new one in here. So you got, it's all accountants reports in here. You can just add to this report or create a new one in here on your own name. Let's say like this, right? So now when you come here, memorize reports, see right here, you can memorize any reports now. So let's open this. Let's say you have a P&L for this fiscal year, right? And you want to memorize this. So all we have to do is just click it here and just memorize this, And where do you want to save this? Just click that one and you want to save it here, right? See the sound? Okay. Let's say you want to open another one, balance sheet report, right? And let's say memorize it. You got a group there, select the group right here. So now if you go to that group, you will see those, two reports in there. See right here, balance sheet and profit and loss. So next time, you want to run that report, all you have to do is come here and you memorize list and run that report right here. See, same thing. There we go, right? That's very easy. Okay, so you want to go back to home page again, home page screen. Okay, and then if you have certain tasks you need to do on a regular basis, then you can use the calendar in here. So the calendar, to-do list. See right here, you just set up whatever you want to do, and it'll memorize and it will give you what to do next. So this is a pretty nifty feature. You want to check it out. So basically we cover almost everything. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. As I said, we have other videos for other topics. You can check it out. Thank you for watching. Bye.